Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Discuss Impact. We ain't the best, but we ain't whack. Like those 15 amateurs led by a drunken janitor. Hello, wrestling fans. I'm Jay here with the true horror king, Gary. He's got a great horror movie YouTube channel. Just search for Gary's Movie Emporium if you're into that. This is Discuss Impact, and we're available now most everywhere you listen to podcasts. And we're going to get into a little Chris Bey love fest in a second, but I just want to mention I was a little bummed about the Honor No More stuff just because I love that crew so much. But this week it's totally different because of the awesome Chris Bey news that he has signed a new long-term contract and ratings were up this week. I think I can speak for Gary when I say this Bey news is exactly the kind of thing myself and I think a lot of fans, have been wanting to see, signing younger talent, especially long term, and like a talent like this that I feel like Impact has basically already made. If you know what I mean, Gary. He's only 26, one of the best in the world. What do you think?
Totally agree. I'm familiar with Chris Bey through Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, so I saw Star with him long ago. I do know he's wrestled in Championship Wrestling from Arizona as well. He has a very good West Coast flavor of wrestling style, very high flying. I have nothing but high praise for his decision. I hope this starts a movement in Impact.
There's a really good article, sportsillustrated.com. Just Google, Sports Illustrated Chris Bey. Awesome article. Check it out. I mean, I was going to read some quotes, but there's so many good ones that you should definitely just read the goddamn article. He has something incredibly important that myself and, no offense, Gary and many others don't understand. The cool factor. Being a 26-year-old musician, I mean, just look at the dude, He's like a chill-ass, fucking cool dude who seems to be like really positive. And I actually checked out his new video, which dropped, or his latest video, which dropped weeks back, called The Best Version, which is really good. I'm not a huge fan of, hip hop, rap. Kind of a fan, not a huge one. I'm more of like a rock person, but whatever. His newest album, titled The Top Floor, drops at the end of the month. Now, I don't want to get a copyright thing by playing some of his song, and I don't know how that works. So give me a second, and I'm going to do my best Chris Bey, because I really like this section of the song. Okay, Gary, stay with me here.
Yeah.
Gary, stay with me here, and don't quit, please. So it's please don't change unless you want to make it. Never change the way you think. It makes the situation better. And then it goes on, and it was like, I forget, but there was a lot more rhymes and shit. But it was just the way he sings it, and you got to really check it out. It's like it was kind of like, oh well, it's like a wrestling, singer. Like this is gonna, at best it'll be decent, but like it's a really good goddamn song that he's driving around in some sick ass car that I would really like. I don't know what it is. I should have sent you the goddamn link before we did this because you probably know cars better than me. But point is really, really cool stuff. I mean, he's on top of music. He's on top of like all this shit. I think it's a perfect kind of guy to build around.
Well, I say why not try to incorporate that into his entrance theme. Kind of get some recording, maybe a recording deal, or you'd have the exposure with Anthem, because they are a content provider, and I'm sure they know a lot. They have such guys like Steve Harvey in their corner and Mark Cuban. I'm sure somebody could help him get some kind of recording deal. So
I did not even think about anything like that. So damn good job there. And quickly, I first saw him at FSW, Future Stars of Wrestling. He was mentioned to me by my friend Joe Tassone, great Impact fan, who also first mentioned Killer Cross. So clearly he's a goddamn genius that knows who's going to be a star. So follow him on Twitter. I don't know what his thing is, Brookside Raider or something. Now about those goddamn ratings that you fans love these days so much. Gary, you got the ratings around?
Yeah, really good news this week. It's the highest demo we've had in over 2 months. It came in at 0.03. And let's see,
I think they was stuck at 2 for a little.
Yeah, well, we placed actually this time around this week. We came in at number 148, and that's with all the sporting events going on, and we had a total of 94,000 viewers. So we just missed hitting 100,000, and that's up to.
And they went up from point. They went from 0.1 to 0.3. Sorry, 0.01 to 0.03.
Yeah, and that was like if we could have hit 100, that would have 100,000. We would have. It was only 6,000 away. If we could have hit any amount in that, in the past few weeks, that would have been like maybe like once in the last like 6 weeks that we got 100,000 or above. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I don't worry too much about ratings. Again, they own the goddamn network and everything. So, what was your overall grade for this week's show?
I was very impressed with the opener with all the talent in the ring and doing our promo. I'm usually not big on a huge promo or an overlong one. I do know that there was a lot of participants in this debate and in the ring. I don't know. I would definitely give this a lot higher than I thought. I would give this probably about an 8.4 or 5 this week.
That is pretty goddamn fair, and I'll go with an 8.3. I don't know. I don't like all my grades are kind of similar unless it's like, a ridiculously great show or a really bad show, which usually doesn't happen at Impact. So,
can I add the ratings?
Nope. You cannot add anything.
I just wanted to. There's a thing. I looked it up. Our buddy PI Canada. I don't know if he was a part of your old site. I think he's been a part of many sites. I think he was part of it. TNA Mecca back in the day. He said we got like in the vicinity of nearly 6,000 total tweets on Twitter. So that's another positive. So and then we made the top 10 on Twitter in Albania and Afghanistan, and we trended number 1 in Russia.
Wow. Where the hell did you get that from?
The dude PI Canada from Asylum.
Wow. Well, that's pretty incredible news. I have no idea how someone could figure out. And, I guess it's time to get to the show. What do you say? Well, right before we get to the show, we have another mailbag question. I don't think we had one last week, so these are always nice. This is from John in Tupelo. Hey, guys, love the show. Especially Jay, who I know has been working years to try helping the promotion. Dude always gets screwed, and he's still here. What an amazing and honest fan. Wow. So my question is, do you think Impact Wrestling will be on a bigger network and or streaming service by this time next year? That took a turn. Damn, thanks, John. I'm going to let Gary take this one and sit back and smile after hearing some nice words about me.
Well, I honestly think if we're going to go streaming, I think what would be bigger news than, say, us being on Paramount Plus, Paramount being the former Spike TV. I like to think that maybe we have them in our back pocket for the future in 2023. I would not be surprised if that announcement happens. Like maybe within the first few tapings of January. So I would be very surprised if that doesn't happen. I really do. I got a good feeling that we might revisit our old stomping grounds.
So that's what happened to Spike TV.
Yeah. Yeah, they were bought up by the Paramount, I guess Paramount Pictures or whatever.
Do you know if Impact has the Spike TV years on Impact Plus?
I think it was. I don't know if it was announced that they had started rolling those out, or if it's just kind of like in limbo because it's like a court-ordered thing. I don't know.
I was thinking. It could be a good sign if. Well, I don't know anything about that.
I think COVID kind of delayed a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, if anyone knows, let us know in the comments, because that would be cool. And let's get into the show. I agree with you. I love the show starting off with the, I don't know, I can see people complaining, saying it's like a WWE style of the, I forget the words, where it goes around in a circle kind of promo thing where people keep passing the baton. So it started with Josh, and then Bully came out, and Bully did an awesome job as like he always does. If I didn't make it clear last week, I love the Bully Ray character. I just think putting Tommy with him takes a little away. But they did a good job with the whole backstage thing and their history, and he basically has nobody else to go to, so I'm cool with that. What about you?
Oh yeah, well, Dreamer says he basically asked him. He basically tells Bully he doesn't want to be played for a fool, and he said Bully himself says basically he's never played Tommy for a fool, and he doesn't plan on starting now. So
I'm curious how true that is. I mean, I was a big, crazy ECW fan. I was actually at the last ever Dudley Boys ECW show. That was totally sick. The crowd was just batshit crazy the entire time. And I mean, did the Dudley Boys never F with Tommy Dreamer? Is that what he's saying here?
yeah, I don't.
They must have.
I'm a little bit late to the game with ECW. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really on the grandstand with them there when they first come out, because like where I was able to watch them, they was always like weeks behind, and I don't know. Where I lived, we didn't have cable at the time, and it just was a case of me not really knowing too much about the early ECW days.
Yeah, I was right there. So,
plus, it doesn't hurt. You don't live too far from the stomping grounds of
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, and I was young, and it was at the time where I had a bunch of high school friends who would always go to these shows, so it was kind of perfect timing for all that, and yeah, awesome time. So, yeah, I don't want to shit on Dreamer, but it's like he's done like pretty much everything. He's been around, so it's like Bully feels fresh and Tommy doesn't. But whatever. I like the thing about how Bully wants to make up for being a bad guy, and we talked about this before, and I don't believe it. I think you said you're giving him a chance.
I'm giving him a little bit of benefit of the doubt, because I mean, I think at some point you have to kind of a little bit, because of the way he's burnt bridges so many times with so many different men in ring, like with the aces and eights, and I don't know, just different things. I don't know if maybe there'll be somebody that will come out of the night and be that person that gets the belt off Josh. That maybe Bully inspired, but maybe not Bully himself. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I just no, I don't believe it. Literally, I don't believe it based mostly on the words of his name, Bully Ray.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a bully. That's what he does. He's
totally get that take on it. Well, I don't know. I just to be booked different, just because of the way we've been booking lately. Maybe we're gonna go with.
Totally. I mean, it would totally make sense. The good guy, the bad guy at the end of his career wants to kind of like a movie, wants to change.
Yeah.
But most bad guys in movies are not named Bully Ray, so I am not buying your shit, bro. Tommy Dreamer will, and whatever else, but sorry. So who came out here? Macklin came out. I like that. Made some good points about Bully's past. Then the Moose came out. I like that, saying he modeled himself after Bully. All the top guys out there, and then for some reason Bobby Fish found his way out there, along with all these top guys, and that kind of made me not laugh, but be like, "What the hell is this idiot doing out here?" And I just don't care about him. He doesn't have a character. Like absolutely no character at all.
Yeah, he's pretty dry toast. I'm not gonna lie. Our fellow podcaster BQ would call him as what would be referred to as white bread, if you will.
Yeah,
pretty much, you get what you see, but he does need a mouthpiece. That's why it would be interesting to see Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Not that Kyle is great on the mic himself, but he's an improvement when it comes. Not a knock on Bobby. I love him as a wrestler. He's a very good technically skilled wrestler. But just some wrestlers have both. They have the persona with the wrestling.
I think he's proven that he's a tag team guy.
Yeah,
if that's fair. Not to bash him, but I mean, God, I remember they were like. I didn't even see them a lot, but I remember everyone would always mention them. Like, whenever anyone was talking about, like, oh, who's the tag team that should be signed, it was always them. And then, I don't know. I guess they both went to WWE, or one went and one went somewhere else.
Oh, it's Fish and
yeah,
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, where the hell's O'Reilly?
he's nursing an injury. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation with a lot of the down south talent, like injuries and if they're planning on leaving. And then there was that rumor or that story of Bobby Fish trying to recruit to get a lot of the inner circle that left ROH to go to AEW and WWE to come whoever I guess back to WWE, I guess. I don't know.
That is correct. I remember reading something like that. All right, so here's what bothered me about this. Fish asking for a shot and getting it that night. Doesn't that, like, kind of kill the whole option C and what Billy won? Or what Bully won? Or not kill it, but make it, like, pointless? Why are these guys wrestling for matches when you could just ask Josh Nicely, who's never going to turn one down?
Yeah. It's kind of a little bit convoluted or whatever, how the word's pronounced. It's definitely very odd. I mean, it's kind of like confusing as well, just because like because you even have Kazarian too, that's being a part of this mix, and like he's got the option to cash his X division in, and it's very confusing as a viewer, and it definitely be very confusing to a casual viewer.
Yeah, I mean, I loved the opening segment, but then like as I was watching it, I'm just like, all right, this guy's got the the briefcase or whatever it is, and this guy's, well, he didn't come out. Option C didn't happen, but I think it might have been mentioned or something. But then it was like, then Moose is the former champion who deserves it. Macklin's the coming up guy who deserves it, and then you just give Fish a match. Like
I do like that they're building up depth for the main scene, though. I do feel like they're listening here with at least to what one of my requests is to kind of like give the main scene a bit of a like something that the viewer could grab onto, like other than like one or two competitors every week.
Yeah. I think they've done an amazing job with Macklin, even though he had like an awesome win streak, and now I think he's kind of on a losing streak, but I'm not sure how big that is or whatever. Maybe they'll make that a thing. He had a big win streak, and then he gets a big losing streak. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I don't know about you, but I felt like this whole episode, the production felt different pre Bound for Glory, and like coming out of Bound for Glory, it felt like bigger league to me. It felt like we were watching something in Japan, like New Japan. It kind of had that New Japan vibe all night for me in this particular episode.
I would mostly agree, except what the hell was with the crowd?
Yeah, I don't know if that's some sound mixing thing they're messing with right now. I did feel like they chimed in a lot of extra noise. Because I noticed like a lot of fans at ringside were like not gesturing anything about the matches, and it was like all this piped in noise. I don't know if our viewers are listening tonight or whenever they get to listening to this, notice that. Just leave it in the comments and let us know what you think. That's what I felt. It just something felt different. It felt like a restart or a rebirth.
I was cool with that. I literally didn't hear a noise during the opening promo. I thought like they made, I don't know, maybe it was like you're saying, messing something with the sound. Who knows? But it is kind of weird when you're doing promos with no reactions. So that kind of sucked, even though the opening was cool.
Well, I kind of wonder too if it isn't a little bit the venue. It feels like a very hollow venue, if you know what I mean. It feels kind of like a concert hall.
But Bound for Glory the crowd was good, right?
Yeah. The thing is, it's the same venue and all.
That's what I mean.
Armory. I didn't know if maybe there's certain nights that it sounds better than other nights. Just because it's, I don't know. Maybe they had more people. Well, they did. They said it was the highest BFG or attended show in 3 years for Impact. They said.
Very cool. Got to mention, because myself and others have given Bully some shit, but I mean he's on Busted Open, which is, maybe not maybe, I think it is the number one, like, wrestling radio show.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, everybody knows that name, Busted Open.
And everyone knows the name well, most people know the name Tommy Dreamer, but I'm sure most people know the name Dudley Boys. Like, I always, always like using my nephew as an example because he's a wrestling fan that plays like the games and stuff, but doesn't really give a shit about wrestling these days. He just watches like old Raws and like Nitros and like just like cool shit. It's kind of amazing. He just finds cool shit, and I'm like, so I don't know. I don't know. My point is, I was proud of him that he finds cool shit. But
Well,
I mean, if I said to him,
nostalgia for you, but like it's cool to see a younger generation embracing it as well, whether they don't watch it or if they rather just play the game. I mean, they're living a kind of a little bit of a fanboy, whether they're playing video game or just watching a show.
yeah, sorry. My point was he knows Bully Ray. He knows
Yeah.
Bubba Ray. He knows Bubba Ray. He knows the Dudleys. Like, obviously. Like, if I just said, he could name a bunch of matches with them. Like, I'm sure he would say TLC and like stuff like that.
I mean, they have too many great,
yeah, I mean, he's
moments to not.
He's a big name, and I don't think it's a surprise that ratings went up. Like even like a Rob Van Dam guy, or like Impact needs like someone like that at all times. I think like a name that's bigger than. Like, of course, everyone wants to see young guys push, but, like, you need, like, a name like that. Like, you used to have who? Sting, Flair, all these guys. Like, what do you think they were there for? Not for their wrestling ability.
Yeah, more the Dudleys, something like 23-time tag team.
Yeah.
And I mean, no one's ever accomplished that.
Oh, yeah, no. They're the most decorated team.
Road Warriors,
Oh, yeah, no. They're the most decorated team ever. I mean, you can easily say they're the best tag team ever, just based on that. But, all right, enough of that.
Everywhere.
Yeah. But enough of that. Let's move on to the knockouts, which was the opening match, and unsurprisingly, very good. Most knockouts matches are. I mean, they're just stacked as hell, and this was a no DQ match. Savannah Evans popped in at one point, but Kelly ended up tapping out Tasha, getting a pretty big win here. Maybe a feud ender, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it kind of had that burner feel to it, but I kind of feel like there's a little bit more they still want to go. Somebody said the storyline that they see in the future is like maybe we have a bit of a relationship between Kelly and Tasha, like I don't know, like a love interest kind of thing, kind of like Mickie James back in the WWE days when she had a crush on, I can't remember who she liked.
Yeah, that would be cool. Well, that would be cool, and it leads to my next point, which Killer Kelly, when they had like the vignettes for her, it was kind of like more of a sexy thing, But,
yeah,
like, somewhat of a sexy thing, and she does dress that way. I don't know a nice way to say it, but kind of
like you want her to kind of be like the Oksana, kind of like the Russian.
I mean, I guess I kind of want her to be more seductive as like a character, or just drop the sexy outfit and just be a killer. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm not sorry. Don't drop the sexy outfit.
So you mean like maybe ditch the mouthpiece and stuff to protect, like when she wrestles?
Yeah, it's like kind of a weird like mix,
that kind of thing.
Because like she's wearing like a hot outfit and she's like a killer.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, still kind of has that MMA feel to her with the mouthpiece. I think. I don't know. Maybe amp up how more seductive she could be.
Yeah, maybe like playing to both of it. Like maybe she has like two sides, like kind of like Two-Face, where she's like just hot. Doing hot girl stuff sometimes, and she's doing psycho killing stuff some other times.
Yeah, like a multi-personality kind of thing.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, this is a never-ending, insanely stacked division. Like, there's never a time where the knockouts are not good. And she's come in and she slid right in, like, awesome job. Like, it seems like she's been there much longer than she's been there. No?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened to her. Did she leave for a little while because of her work visa or something? Because she had a bit of momentum back then, and then something killed it, and then she kind of vanished. But this is very much a much improved persona for her going forward. I think they just need to maybe amp up the sex appeal, as long as it's tasteful enough to keep them on the air. We don't.
Yeah, like I don't want to. And I'll be clear. I want to be clear. Like I don't want to sound like we're creeps. Like it's just like that's the character. Like I feel like they laid out in the vignettes, and like she's basically, I don't want to say wearing a thong, but kind of.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't actually mind seeing Tasha a little bit in that foray a little bit. Maybe still like me, the bad girl kind of thing, but like maybe kind of amp it up a little bit because she kind of comes off like tomboyish, and I wouldn't mind to see the more feminine side of Tasha come out a little bit as well.
Well, Tasha's fantastic. I can never say enough about her. I'm a tiny bit worried, though. Seems like she's been on a bit of a losing streak, and I don't know. People have been coming and going, which I got a little too bitchy about last time, I guess. My problem now is I'm confused, to be honest. Like I saw. Well, I don't know. Is this a goddamn spoiler? If it's about a different show? No, it happened. No, it happened already. So the Kingdom came out on Rampage. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that?
Yeah, I was only lucky to know because they're good friends at eWrestling News. I was able to see that. I watched a bit of the Twitter post, and I watched it. And unfortunately for our good friends, OGK, they entered on basically crickets.
Well, perfect. I just got a message from. So I was talking to MCWA Pro Wrestling. The owner and promoter of MCWA Pro Wrestling, and he was asking about if he thinks the rumors were true that OJK is going to freelance until 2023, which is a rumor I read out there. And they also mentioned that, I mean, because I didn't think it was. I don't think that was going to happen. Like, I thought they'd be picked up by AEW and signed long term, but he mentioned that they have posters of them on Atlanta, and they're still promoting them for Hard to Kill, and like I didn't even realize all that.
I wonder if you were reached out to by Mark. I can't remember his first name. Marquez. I know he owns Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which is the same people that reached out to you. I don't know if this is the guy that actually owns that company, or if it's the guy that does commentating weekly on YouTube. Can't remember his name, but he does a weekly show on YouTube. So I wonder if it's maybe somebody with like, because I know I've reached out to them in the past, and I've even actually been shouted out on their broadcast before in the comments. So I don't know, maybe they're kind of keeping an eye on us both. I don't know. Thank you for reaching out to us. It means a lot.
Oh yeah, always. I mean, I'm always surprised people ask me anything. I'm like, I don't want to. I mean, I do know things. Like, I don't know. I'm in a weird position where, like, I feel like I know certain things, but like, if I tell people, then it's spoiling them. And the small amount of contacts I do have, like,
because the Marquez, the elder Marquez, his son has a lot to do with a lot of the production and things too as well, and it's kind of like Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon kind of thing going on. Like,
interesting. Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of independent owners and promoters and stuff, but
they're really cool guys.
Never them for some reason. That's odd. I mean, I like them. I didn't actually watch a lot of their shows, but I watched them for a little because I believe Eli Drake was there on one of those championship. Maybe not that one, maybe the other one, Hollywood.
Oh, but, yeah. Well, they have really good production. I don't know if you remember way back when we were trying to do that. We were trying to sell somebody on an hour show from an actual, like, kind of like a studio venue kind of thing. Like, there was a time we were trying to get content, and they were trying to test the waters. It was actually from that very venue is where Impact kind of dressed up the arena a little bit. There's video of it out there. You just got to go back and look it up, but it's pretty interesting.
All right. Well, we don't want to get too far off the rails here. Let's get back to backstage. Oh wait, yeah, I mentioned Kelly got the win there. Backstage, Swinger. I gotta thank Gary for this one. My notes say Swinger, Zicky, ? With actually deleted it since then, but with the singing guy, who I'm blanking on his name right now, who just showed up.
Dirty Dango?
It ended up being Dirty Dango, but I thought it was the singing guy. What the hell is the singing guy's name? Joe Hendry.
Oh, yeah.
I think they have similar blonde hair.
Yeah, I only knew because what did Dango, he said something about, like, he said something to Swinger about his gear looking like what'd you do? Lose a bet with Crayola or
Yeah, that was good.
something like that? It's a pretty funny line.
Yeah, it's a nice little goofy crew. I mean, Zicky is always, I don't know, Zicky's a good character. He just kind of jumps off the goddamn screen. And they were kind of like doing something. They were kind of like doing their thing while in the background, security was taking out EY's, I think 2 of EY's guys, and then Sammy popped in.
Yeah, they were being restrained by him, and then that's when Sammy popped in, and then didn't he take him out with like a baseball bat or?
Yes, I believe so. If anyone's noticed, we are no longer doing match grades because we don't like them. We talked about it. We'll let other people do that. I mean, mine will mostly be the same and whatever. 6-way. Oh wait, no, before the 6-way X match, Scott and Josh had a little thing in the back where, again, I don't know about this Scott character. I feel like he's kind of shady.
Yeah, I could see that. I honestly think maybe like even Matt Taven's said stuff about that in the past. Like maybe like we thought it was because he's a heel. He's referring to Scott as being scrupulous or whatever. But maybe even Matt maybe onto something here about Scott, because I kind of feel like there is something like some agenda that Scott keeps going to Josh Alexander and things like, kind of like praising him up. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like he's going to turn heel at some point.
Or maybe it'll be like Scott's his guy since he literally found him, gave him the contract.
I could see that. Yeah.
And like he'll do anything to protect him, and that could make them both being heels. I don't know. We'll see. So we have Zicky.
Josh is a heel. I could honestly see that. He gets kind of full of himself, or it was
kind of like a Hogan thing. Just keeps on winning and winning, and he has nobody else, and one of those situations. Then we had an awesome 6-way tag X Division match, which, I mean, I don't think these are ever not fun.
Yeah, often referred to as a scramble match, if you will.
Yeah, my only problem was only got about 5 minutes. Could have used 10. But...
Oh yeah, that was way too short. It was almost too short to get into. I liked all the participants in this one, but I don't know. It just kind of, what was it even announced what it was for? Was it for the number 1 contenders for the X?
I don't think it was for anything. But then after the match, when Trey won, he kind of got back there with. He kind of jumped in between Kazarian and Bailey, like, "Yo, did you see that?"
Confused me. That's what confused me, because he said that.
I think that was just him saying, like, "Did you see that? I just beat everyone out there. I'm still here. Like I'm not the number 1 contender right now, but I'm pretty goddamn close." That's how I took it.
Needs to kind of improve upon is they need to kind of specify a little more what everything's for.
For me, this was just a match, and I think Bailey has to be the number 1 contender still. No, doesn't he deserve a rematch? I don't know how that works with options.
He was mentioning backstage to Kazarian. He said, "You were the better man, and if I'm given another opportunity, I'd like to take that chance." And that's when Trey came in.
Gotcha.
Kind of threw his on his.
But Kaz has a bit of a plan, which we'll find out about, and. Next up, VXT or Vexed and Giselle versus the Death Dolls, which I gotta say, pretty cool name, the Death Dolls.
Yeah, I do like that. It's very marketable too.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen like the
which you can pick up their shirt currently on shopimpact.com too. Pretty cool looking shirt.
Yep, that's what I was just thinking. The logo or whatever it is exactly. Very cool. And pretty solid match. Nothing really great here. Giselle got the pin on Rosemary. No surprise there. Jobbers eat pins. Just kidding, kind of.
I was kind of actually surprised. Well, not really surprised that Rosemary took the pin, but I just would have thought. I don't know. I don't know if I would have thought this would have been a no contest kind of thing, just because of all of the foray going on with the 6 women. It's just. It's know what I mean? Like, they often throw these kind of matches out a lot of times. They usually don't get a victor.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to make it like Rosemary is the weak link, and
definitely.
something's definitely happening with Rosemary here, like getting pushed out of it, or maybe going
That,
solo, or
that's what I think they're going to be doing, maybe with Rosemary, making her with Maxie and Paler. That's
yeah.
what I honestly think is going to happen, because she kind of like has James, Father James Mitchell, kind of like, like she's always counseling him about things, going to him asking for advice and things like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think she needs something fresh, but we'll see what happens. Okay, there was an Honor No More backstage thing, and I just put question mark, and then PCO is always great. I hate that. I really hate that. Like, I don't know. I hate the situation. Like, I wish I could just review this as a goddamn and watch it as a goddamn show and not think like, yeah, but these guys wrestle on AEW, so what does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you notice PCO was getting on all the members of Honor No More's nerves too? Like every time he'd repeat everything,
Yeah, it
it was vintage. Just some of the stuff like Matt Taven would do, like look at him, like roll his eyes. Just was really cool.
I gotta say, it's pissing me off already seeing how much shit Matt Taven is getting. The guy just showed up in AEW, and like, it's already back to like, oh man, this guy fucking ruined Ring of Honor. Fuck him. He's terrible. He's a horrible character. But like,
oh yeah, I know. I see. What's his name? What's this dude? That dude's name. The Peacock there, who that wrestler? I can't think of his name. He's getting more praise than the debut of.
Yeah, I mean, God.
Dalton Castle.
Oh, we got a dog entering the background. Nice. We got a fan finally. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like the situation. I mean, I love Honor No More so much, and like, it's hard to get it's hard to be as invested knowing like they might be leaving, or they did, or some did already. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Matt Cardona is back. I wrote here, or maybe he didn't leave. Honestly, I don't know. Did he leave? Where the hell was he?
I wouldn't say it was real. I don't know. There was belief that something to do with his, I don't know, like when he got married, he kind of took a sabbatical a little bit, but then it doesn't make any sense because like he was still doing stuff for NWA,
And he married Chelsea, who was still doing things. So yeah, kind of weird, but he came back and he defeated Bhupinder in a singles match that was actually pretty solid, other than Bhupinder freezing for way too long, staring over at Brian Myers instead of just finishing the match. Like he was stuck on the rope. It looked like it was. I don't know. That was kind of weird. But
why do I feel like this? Eventually, this is gonna like. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Myers and Cardona feud if he were to stay around. Given he's not offered a deal up north. I just got that feeling. Do you get that feeling?
I got the opposite feeling.
Oh, really?
When they showed their T-shirts, and it made me think like, I don't know. I liked it because it's obvious. Like everyone knows they have a goddamn podcast. Like they have a brand. Like, I don't know. I think it's kind of silly, like pretending they don't and like acting like they're fighting all the time. You know what I mean? Because they've kind of been feuding. Not wrestling.
Why I get that feeling is just because, like, remember I had said that he had just attained that honor of like having the title for nearly 100 days, or at this point it's already past 100 days. And I think that will be passing Matt Cardona. I don't know if that'll be an ego thing down the road.
Okay. I got you. Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
That's why I don't know. That's what I sometimes that happens in wrestling. Ego's getting away, and
yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And Cardona's that exact kind of character, and it would make Myers more likable and could be like a face coming out of that. But I was thinking like I like the whole they're together with the podcast brand.
Honestly, I could see it being a loser leaves Impact kind of thing, possibly too.
Yeah, because I think he kind of wants out, or he doesn't want out, but he's basically said I'd go back to WWE if they called, which I think most people would do, which sucks, and that's life, but whatever. So I liked it because like I also thought like I wouldn't have mind if they mentioned Busted Open in a similar way with Bully and Dreamer, but then I thought that would have been breaking like the fourth wall because it's media. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I just know that like it was a pretty interesting matchup just because we just got done seeing Myers kind of dispose of Bhupinder, and now it's kind of like they're saying, "Here, Matt, here's your shot with the very green Bhupinder."
Yeah, I don't know what we're supposed to like think about Bhupinder. That's my
it's hard to know what to do with him because he's like he kind of falls into that, like me and you mentioned, he kind of falls into that Shira category because he's good shape wrestler, has the look, but they can't see.
But they even push Shira.
Yeah,
like if you're not gonna push, like you gotta at least push someone at first, I figure, or like you can't, like this guy's a jobber now, like unless something changes like quickly, and I don't know, whatever though. I mean, he's doing a good job in the ring. He's not like he's
he's definitely. I've definitely seen some improvements in the ring over the weeks and months in an Impact ring, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of hard with the current roster to know what place he would be in. Just because it's hard to book somebody that you don't really know what to do with.
Yeah, it's funny. I always felt like Rohit never had like the perfect partner, but I think he might be.
Yeah.
If he did come back, like I think because Rohit's like the mouth. This kid can wrestle, and he's young, and he's growing.
And it was like referred to that Rohit had made mention of like past relationships with some of the Impact talent on Twitter, and I don't know. I just got that vibe that maybe we see him show up at some of these tapings in the coming weeks.
Well, it shouldn't be surprising because I don't know what the F he's doing. I think he might have wrestled a few darks. And so Bully, okay, sorry. We got the Bullet Club. Finally some Chris Bey action. It took a while. I was thinking it would really be lame if he was not on the show after we talked all about this. But it's him and, who the hell's the other guy? Ace and, I'm blanking on the other guy's name. Juice, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so him and Ace and Juice were backstage, and they want Bully and Dreamer next week. Not as bad as that dog wants some food, but
yeah,
they still want it. Well, we just got the main event left, so that dog can keep doing its thing. And I really did not like this very much. I'll be honest. I barely paid attention. Like I can't take Bobby Fish seriously as a. Like I didn't think there was any chance he could win this match. Even if somebody cashed in, like I didn't think there would even cash in on Fish. I didn't think they would give him the title for a tenth of a second.
Yeah, I don't know that Bobby Fish. He's got I don't know what they got to do with him, but I think heading into this, this matchup on this particular night, this past Thursday. They needed more of a hook, and it seemed just really random. I thought
this is perfect. I have 4-1 pulled up. This was another match that had no story, and it was a showdown between two technicians, meaning it was only going to be so good. They had no reason to be mad at each other. It's so true. It's so simple and true. Like they had no reason to be mad at each other. I mean, it's just I don't know. I'm not shitting on it, but.
I know. I mean, it was a really good back and forth, but
I mean, they gave it a B minus, and I'm sure that would be like a B if they had some kind of story involved, which is basically what he's saying here. But I like the post match more than the match.
See, that's the thing. It's part of a problem when you're bringing in talent from elsewhere, is because he's on loan, and you never know how long you're going to get to have him.
Yeah, part of me is like, get into his character more, but then part of me is like, fuck this guy. He's going to be leaving soon. So, yeah, it's a weird spot. I mean, I guess, let him pop in, put Josh over if, beating him means anything to people. Maybe it does. Me, it doesn't, but maybe to some people it does. I mean, he's Bobby Fish. He's kind of a big deal to some people in the wrestling world, but whatever. Post-match, Kazarian comes out. I thought maybe he was going to cash in here.
Oh, yeah, that was very shocking because I was like, man, if they're gonna do something with Kazarian, they better hurry up because I was looking at 9:58, and I'm like, this is gonna be very brief, and it's just gonna be not like bad, but it's gonna be rushed. Is my problem. I
thought the same thing. I like looked right over at my clock, and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be weird. But yeah, no, he just said, listen, I'm using my thing. He did it in a respectable way. He's cashing
I
in.
don't know why we run the network, okay, as Impact. We run the network. I don't know why they don't give them that 5-minute over or whatever. There's nothing saying they can't do that.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, though, I didn't realize they had a replay every night.
Oh, did they? I don't know. I guess I did see that. I think somebody said, like, how much does the West Coast feed figure into that? So if there's a way we could get that West Coast feed, I think that would actually be more telling if, you know.
I don't know, I've seen them do it before where if there's a replay, they used to add it together. I'm not sure if it was Impact or other promotions, but
West Coast is a big area, so we're going to.
It's literally half the goddamn, whatever. Yeah,
California alone is.
Definitely.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a huge. I don't know how that. Whatever. I'm not sure. I thought it worked like kind of on the same thing where, but whatever. Yeah. So it's on 2 different times. That's my point. I didn't even realize that because I don't have access, and I have YouTube TV, which I really want to get this going, and I wish fans would get behind it because YouTube TV is pretty big, and it's got like every goddamn network, even really lame networks. So like, it's probably not hard to get on there,
Would you recommend it to say somebody like me that doesn't really know a lot about YouTube TV? Because I am kind of curious about that. Is it?
It's just the goddamn app, and it's like cable. It has, I don't know, 100 channels, 200 channels. I don't know. It's got a crazy amount of. It's got ESPN. It's got channel 2, 4, 7. You know what I mean? It's got.
You get your locals and stuff too.
Yeah, you get all the local stuff. You get everything. It's really freaking good. It's got movie channels. It's got like FX, all this friggin'.
And you said Access is part of that, or no?
No, Access isn't. But there's a lot of much weaker channels that are. So I figure they could definitely get on there.
Well, that brings up the debate about the women of wrestling pulling down the ratings they are versus Impact. I do know for a fact that Vice, where I think that's where Women of Wrestling is aired, right?
Not sure.
But I'm pretty sure. I think that's aired on there, and if that's the case, that's a lot more available. It's more widespread than say Anthem or Access, because it's like it's sort of a gray area to compare the two, because if you're like widely more available, of course you're going to get a better rating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the difference was bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
In homes. And now I'm hearing myself.
Access dropped too.
Oh.
They lost.
We're gonna have to cut this short because I'm hearing my echo.
Oh no, the famous echo.
We got everything through.
Yeah.
Unless we forgot
anything.
No, just a lot of the matches building until next week, and we'll leave Albany after next week, and then what are we in? We have set a 2-night tapings in Vegas, I believe, right? With Sin City Showdown.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Okay, I'm making myself
crazy.
So that's it.
See you next week.
Catch you later, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.